Counsel, you may proceed.
Good morning, Honorable Commissioners, Honorable Secretary, and everyone present. Good morning, Mr. Witness. We will be discussing the issues regarding the employment of certain individuals as sort of Fal, Noordin Adams, and 3 others. But before we proceed, do you have some of the documents you have been asked to bring today?
Yes, I do. Good morning, Ma. Good morning, Commissioners and Lead Counsel. In our last session, we discussed about the grants that the Council has received, and you wanted some of the documents.
We go to the appointment of
Oh, that's yours.
yes, the appointment of certain individuals. When you came in as mayor in 2018, Nuruddin Adams was employed as protocol officer. Fatu Aissatou Fall was appointed as public affairs manager. You recall this?
Yes, I do.
Well, you have any prior relationship with these people before
Yes, I do.
their appointment?
Yes.
Can you please guide us through the nature of your relationship with these 2 people?
Aissatou Fall was working for my company as a marketing, sales and marketing manager, I believe. And then she was assisting during my campaign. Nuru Adams was part of my team, my campaign team, as my protocol officer assisting me.
Now, you employed a cleaner? Did the council employ a cleaner that you worked with prior?
During that time?
Yes.
I cannot recall.
You can't recall. Now, do you know the process that was followed in the appointment of Ms. Fall and Mr. Dean?
I wouldn't say I know step for step, but when I came into office, there was many people who wanted to work in KMC and work for me from the general public and of course people around me. So I refer them to the establishment or the HR, and they would go ahead with the process.
How did you do this referral? Is it written referral or verbal referral?
Verbal. I would tell them go to the HR or go to the establishment.
Now, appointments are generally supposed to be advertised, correct?
They may be advertised.
Maybe. What would be the circumstance that would suggest that an appointment does not have to necessarily be advertised? Is there any exception to it?
I'm not very familiar with the rules on advertisements, but I know it says maybe they may be advertised.
Maybe advertised. Now, we have Mr. Dean as protocol officer. He testified here. And we also have the chairman of the establishment committee at the time, I think is Habib. What is Habib Sise? Habib ML Sise. He gave a statement initially. Can we have Mr. Sise's statement? Who said in his statement that he was given a list by the mayor, that's you at the time, to employ those people, and that caused a problem in council. What is your reaction to that?
I think it's incorrect if he says I gave him a list. What happened when I got elected, and it happens every day, thousands of people want to work at KMC, and I interface with them. So I remember 40 people came to my office who were part of of course, the campaign, and I referred them to either him or HR, because
Yes.
I am not the right authority for that. But if he says it's a list, that is incorrect.
Now, Habib's statement, let me read. The statement is given on the 31st July 2023, even though when he testified openly, he tried to walk back on some of those statements. I will read his statement, the third paragraph. It reads, on the appointments of Nuruddin Adams, Aisato Fall, Sanjali, Yusufa Salah, and Babakar Jame, I can vividly remember that these appointments were presented to the Establishment and Appointment Committee in a first meeting by the Lord Mayor. That Talib Ahmed Bensouda, I'm reading verbatim. And there was no job advertisement conducted for these positions. I recall that both Nuruddin Adams and Ashatofal were given grades that didn't match their respective qualifications, which I challenged during our committee meetings. However, there was a General Council resolution to appoint Ashatofal on grade 10 and Nuruddin Adams on grade 7.1. That is what he wrote and signed, even though when he testified, he said that you did not instruct him. But this is what he wrote. Now, Salamanjai, you know Salamanjai?
Yes, he was the acting CEO.
Yes. Salamanjai also testified and wrote a statement, her testimony, and the statement also one and the same. And the third paragraph, it reads, at that juncture, I asked Habib that the agenda of the proposed establishment meeting was he then handed over the paper he was holding to me. When I read the paper, it was a memo from the mayor addressed to him, Habib, as the chairman of the establishment, requesting for the appointment of Isotofal and 5 others. Habib then asked me whether I knew that Isotofal and the driver were coming from the mayor's company. I responded, no. He further asked whether I knew that Babakar Jame, being recommended for the culture and religion manager, was the mayor's uncle and a blood sister, same mother and father to the then rates manager, Miss Adama Jame. I responded, no. Again, he asked whether I knew that the cleaner recommended is the mayor's mother, house help. I said no. Habib was able to link all those identified to the mayor. It seems he did his investigation before coming. He then told me that he was going direct to the mayor's office to confront him on the request. I then advised him not to do so at that moment because he was very angry and things might turn ugly. I further told him since he planned to have a meeting with the establishment committee, he should then wait and share his opinion and findings with the committee. He then just left abruptly. Now, is this correct?
I don't recall it that way.
Okay.
When I won my election, hundreds, if not thousands of people want to work at KMC. They come to my office and say they want to work for KMC. I refer all of them to the HR. Sometimes I refer them to the establishment and committee chairperson. If I had it my way, I would personally ensure that all of those people were employed, but I can't have that power as per the law. But nevertheless, Habib Sise, if you know him, he always demands that things go as per procedure. When I refer people to him, he says they must go through procedure, and he insists and makes sure they always go through procedure. But I had wished that I would have the power to come in and hire who I deemed fit at the time, but I could not. So I refer to either Habib or I refer to Demboja. And if they say that there's a memo, I would like to see that memo if it's with you.
Now, do you attend these establishment and appointment committee meetings?
I don't.
You don't. Let me show you the establishment and appointment committee meeting. The date is 8th of June 2018.
It doesn't look legitimate. I don't know.
Why is that?
Because the clerk usually generates the establishment meeting and I don't see the clerk. And I just see a signature. I don't know who's the signature.
Who is the clerk?
Usman Gay.
So it doesn't look legitimate. Okay,
It's not the format we use for meetings. So I have a right as mayor to attend. I'm an ex officio member of all committees, but I do not attend committee meetings. Sometimes I can invite a committee to my office if I want to advise them, but I don't attend committee meetings.
Now, that format seems to be the same format we have received from those who submitted these minutes of meetings. And then just to read first,
Okay, I can read.
Those that were present in the document we have. We will now, of course, please kindly read the names of the individuals that are present in the.
It says Talib Bensouda, Lord Mayor, Habib Sise, Chairman, Lamin K. Jamme, member, Yasin Senghor, member, Muduge, member, Maria da Costa, member, Peter Mendy, member, Salama Jai, acting CEO, Demboja, secretary.
Okay. Now, is it, let me just see the document. You don't think it is, it is legitimate? It's a legitimate document?
No, what I'm saying is I'm not a member of the establishment committee.
Right.
Number two, I do not attend establishment committee meetings. Number three, when I'm setting up a committee, I'm the one who inaugurates the committee and I give advice.
Right.
And number four, when I feel like a committee needs to do something, I can invite them to my office to give them advice.
Right.
But I don't attend committee meetings.
Okay. So this is signed by Habib ML Sise. Says the individuals present are Lord Mayor, Talib Ahmed Bensouda, Habib Sise, Lamin K. Jame, Yasin Senghor, Modu Gay, Maria Docosta, Peter Mendy, Salaman Jai, CEO, Dembo Jia. And the agenda item number 3 reads that the chairman of the establishment committee tenders a letter of resignation from the former PRO, Fatou Silla, and requested for circumstances leading for her resignation. The CEO replied, as per the government orders or the civil service regulation, she has the right to tender her resignation at any time with due notice. Either she serves notice or pay a month's salary in lieu of notice. The CEO informed, that's 4.0, the chairman of the establishment committee that a request for the aforementioned positions was signed off for approval. The HR expert manager, Mr. Gay, was tasked to provide a detailed job description for the position. KMC HR manager was tasked to present a draft to the HR expert for a review before finally presenting it to the team. For the position of a public relations manager, the team unanimously agreed to leave it on hold until the press officer returned from vacation in the United Kingdom. This was on the 8th of June 2018. But by this time, 8th of June 2018, but by this time, we have already had the position filled on the 7th of June 2018. Let me just show you this document. So whilst there was a meeting to put the position on hold, an appointment letter was already signed by Dembo Jia, the chief executive, for the chief executive, for the appointment of Ajadofar. on the 7th of June 2018.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, so going by the Establishment and Appointment Committee meeting, stating that the position of the public relations manager to be put on hold, Ms. Fall was already employed on the 7th. Were you aware of this?
Not during the commission, I heard about it, yes.
Right. Now, the application of Ms. Fall is also dated on the 7th of June 2018. Let me just show you.
Yes.
Now, it appears from the documents we have that the application, which is on the 7th of June 2018, was same date that Ms. Fall was appointed, and the Establishment and Appointment Committee would sit over it the following day. So it is as if the Appointment Committee was not on the same page with the appointing officer, that is the office of the CEO, which was signed by Dembo Ja. Is that not an issue?
It is incorrect.
It's incorrect. Now, the position of Aisedo Fall is, can you please read what the position that she was appointed for on the appointment letter?
Public Affairs Manager.
Yes. Public Affairs Manager. What grade is that?
10.1.
Now, Ms. Fall's highest qualification, if I can recall, is, we see here a certificate of, before that, is a certificate or a diploma in IT. Would that be an ideal position for the position of a manager in the civil service?
In KMC, I think there's 2 ways of hiring: direct entry and indirect entry.
Yes.
I believe if you have the prerequisite experience,
Right.
Sometimes you're appointed a grade above the qualification and subjected that you seek for the education.
For education. Is that applicable only in KMC?
I believe in our scheme of service, based on discussions I have had at the General Council,
Right.
Because especially in the case of Asset Fall,
Right.
Issue came to the General Council and it erupted into a big debate,
Right.
as to whether the qualification matched the experience.
Yes.
And I think the councillors voted that, given the experience and the track record, they would approve that she continue in the position subject to pursuing further education.
But she had never held the position of a manager prior to this. Correct? I think she confirmed this. She had never held the position of a manager prior to this. So the experience would perhaps, if applicable, would perhaps suggest that she had been a manager in institutions and have performed this role for a period of time in a managerial position. Do we have evidence of that?
Well, like I said, I don't know the prerequisite for indirect or direct entry. What I say is that it was debated at the council floor.
Right.
Right during those moments, I can't remember what council meeting, but some councillors raised that the qualification did not match the portfolio.
Yes.
But it was overruled, and it was resolved that because of her experience and track record, she be allowed to continue the position while pursuing further education.
What was her position when she worked for you?
In my recollection, as a marketing and sales manager.
Manager?
In my recollection, but I'm not sure.
Okay. I think her testimony is different with respect to what her position was, but we can always confirm that. May I please have that document? Is it not proper that individuals that are appointed will have the academic qualification to hold the office that they occupy as managers?
It depends. It depends on whether they were taking indirect or direct entry.
Okay. And the indirect entry would be, how would you describe the indirect entry?
So there's council staff that are recommended by the establishment committee, and in
Right.
their recommendation, they will say, this staff does not match the qualification as per the scheme of service,
Yes.
but because of their track record or because of their experiences, we would recommend that they be hired, I think, through indirect entry. But the schematics they use, the points they use, I'm not too familiar with it.
Can you please avail to us the scheme of service?
I don't have it with me right now. I think
Yes.
I gave it to, what did I give to Madam? I think HR audit. HR audit. Okay, I will try to ask them for the scheme of service.
Please do that. Yes, I think it's exhibited HR audit. Can we please say it? Now, the same as well with Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Adams too was employed. Yes.
Find out from Mayor Bensouda. You recall that the LGSC, that is Local Government Service Commission, is mandated under the law to appoint people at a certain grade level.
Yes.
And for this particular employee, she was not appointed by the Local Government Service Commission.
Yes.
So would you agree that that was wrong for the council to have made, or the establishment committee to have made that resolution in the first place?
At the time, there was no Local Government Service Commission. I was the one who even brought it to the attention of the minister. He did not institute Local Government Service Commission until 2019. So within that period, only the councils were doing their hiring. Also, during that period, we did not have access to the scheme of service that was used by the, Public Management Office. But now we know that because it was not gazetted, there was no legal notice. So that's why our council took it upon ourselves to make our own scheme of service. But there was no LGS.
Thank you. You can proceed.
Now, you are aware of conflict of interest in appointments, that appointment of staff should be free from conflict of interest, correct?
Yes.
Good. Now, the idea that the individuals that are mentioned worked for you or had a relationship with you, do you not think that it was just prudent to have their appointments to go the normal and usual way?
I think for them, there was no conflict of interest. I knew them. I know many people who are employed by KMC. The fact is whether I am directly part of the hiring or not. What I would have loved is for the people I wanted, including them, to work. That's the total honesty, to work for KMC. But like I said, the establishment committee insisted that no, it has to go through process, and it did.
Now, the appointment of, example, Nuruddin, he confirmed, he said that I had even taken part in the campaign of the mayor. You think the appointment was a fair process? That there are, of course, hundreds of Gambians who would have be qualified to hold these positions, and the same with the public relations officer or manager. Do you not think there should have been a fair process, advertise these positions so that people can apply and fill these positions?
So thousands of people have campaigned for me. Even more thousands have voted for me. And a lot of them have wanted work at KMC. I've received thousands of applications, but only few. Like there was a case, Maria Maba,
Yes.
Fatmata Mane, they all applied, but they could not get the positions. And there's many, many more. So it's just the lucky few who can make it through the process.
Yes, that is why I said, would it not, since it's a public service, and it is supposed to be an employment open to the public. Advertisement, you'll agree with me, is supposed to be a general rule that people have equal opportunity to apply for these positions, and we have the most qualified to fill our public space because they don't go through elections for these positions.
Yes, so I always advocate for advertisement,
Yes.
but like the general order says, maybe. Sometimes the establishment does headhunting, sometimes they use referrals, sometimes they redeploy from within, but that is at their discretion.
So will you say that their appointments were referrals?
The appointment, they applied, yeah. They
Yeah.
applied to the council.
Yes. What I'm saying is since they did not meet the qualifications, it's in fact stated in the HR report, which I'm trying to check. Since they did not meet the qualifications, then it means that they would have been employed in the indirect way or headhunted. So would you qualify their appointment as being individuals that were headhunted for this position?
Not headhunted, but they applied.
They applied.
They applied, and I referred them to the HR or the establishment.
So their appointments were referrals.
They applied and they brought it to my office, so I referred. But I would not say a referral, because a referral would imply that I am the one who took it upon myself to refer them. But like I said, there was about 40, when I first came into office,
Yes.
40 people from my own team, campaign team, came to me and said they are looking for work.
Yes.
And I refer all of them. I say, go to the HR.
Yes. That is why I said that to have these positions to be advertised, you would agree with me, is the best in this circumstance. Because if you have a vacant position to fill in a public space without a special qualification, the individuals that are appointed do not have special qualifications. In fact, the HR audit specifically outlined the individuals. For instance, if you look at the issue of Nuruddin Adams, the qualification is just certificate in business studies, diploma result in business studies, and O-level certificate. You can have someone who is more qualified than Nuruddin Adams, certainly, correct?
Can you ask again, sorry? You said?
You can have applicants who, if it is open to advertisement, would have been more qualified than Nuruddin Adams.
Yes, you can, absolutely.
Good. So as to the file, the qualification is an attestation of completion of SJSS in St. Joseph Senior Secondary School and a certificate in IT. Certainly for a manager to just have a certificate in IT, that would not be the requisite academic qualification necessary. And it's also flagged by the HR report as well. Correct?
Yes, their matter was discussed and debated in council.
And
their matter was discussed and debated in council.
Yes.
But if I may add,
right.
Usually when you're recruiting, even in the private sector,
right.
You can do headhunting.
Yes.
And of course, you can, just like in contracts, you single source.
Yes.
Sometimes you can get somebody with the right experience,
right.
even without the prerequisite education. That's why we ask them to go back to school at the General Council.
Yes, I agree, 100%. But if you headhunt, it means you're going for the best in a certain position. You have identified that to rule out advertisement would be to know that there is somebody who just stands out. And we know Mr. X is extremely competent, has a proven track record. And there would not be any doubt reasonable enough to question the experience and the qualifications of the person. So is that not the place and time as to how or why headhunting should be done?
Well, I don't think there's a general rule to it. It says, that's why I say it's at the discretion of the committee. When they do their interviews, they're the ones who will look at their different scoring.
Now, when HR flagged it, was an action done?
Yes, it was discussed at the General Council. I remember it was a contentious issue. I think you have the minutes where the councillors agreed that, okay, these may not have the right qualifications, but given their experience, we would resolve that they keep their positions and upgrade themselves.
Babakar Jame was a Is he related to you?
Yes, he's my uncle.
Okay. Now, Adama Jammeh as well?
Yes, she's my aunt.
Okay. You can't recall whether you have any cleaner with you?
No, I cannot recall.
Can't recall. So, was Babakar Jammeh employed subsequently?
Initially, yes.
Okay. So, you think it's coincidence that all these three, I'm just say 3 or 4 people, were employed without your influence?
Yes, Adama Jammeh was working in council since
No,
1988.
not
and-
Adama Jammeh.
Well,
the
you mentioned
Babakar-
her, that's why I want to clarify.
Yes. No, go ahead, please. Proceed.
Yes, Adama Jammeh has been working in KMC since 1988,
Right.
when I was 2 years old, and she's been there for the longest. Babukar Jammeh, initially, who was employed by council, I asked him to resign. I think he was there for less than a year. I called him to my office and I said, look, I know you've been employed, but you are my uncle. I would not like you to stay here. So I asked him to resign and I employed him directly through my NGO. So those are the two ones.
No, now, Babakar Jammeh, we have Nordin Adams, we have Miss Fall, I think one other. I think the cleaner, we don't have the name. Now, the question was for these people, would you say that it is just coincidence the appointments were without your influence?
I wouldn't say it's coincidence. It's 4 people out of 1,200 staff.
Right.
It's 4 people that I would have loved to work in KMC.
Right.
I would have loved to bring many more people as part of my team who I trust and can rely on. But the fact of the matter is I can't. The most I can do is I can refer them to the right authorities, and those authorities can decide or not. But I can tell you for a fact, I am dissatisfied that I could not come in with my team. I would have wished to employ my full office. And one of the issues with change in politics is that you don't want to inherit employees of especially your opponent. So there's a trust issue there. So like I said, the establishment committee chairman was adamant and insisted and had his way to make sure that everything goes through process. But the norm usually in the world of politics is you come in with your team.
Yes, but everything didn't go through the normal process. That's the issue. The committees are answerable to council. They report to council, correct? Yes. And so council would have to exercise its oversight function over these committees. Is that correct? General council.
The other council exercise oversight function on committees?
Yeah, I said these committees, various committees, are creatures of
report to council.
Yes, exactly. They have to report to council. Yes. And so in reporting to council, council can fact check what they do to see whether it is in line with procedure or not, or regulations or not. Is that not the case?
It's not the case because it is very difficult. Because, council are councillors and they entrust these bodies to act.
Right.
If a councillor and a single councillor detects that maybe a process was not taken by a committee or a committee did not do a job, then they can report back to the council and say, I object to what this committee does. But if that doesn't happen, council as a body cannot exercise oversight on a committee.
But then they should. It's difficult is one aspect of it.
Yes, so in the practical application,
yes,
the functions are just, the ability is just not there.
The ability is not there.
And it's not there because, the councils in Gambia, especially the office of the clerk, is not very well equipped. But in other countries, the policy-making arm should have a lot of staff and the ability to detect compliance issues.
Yes. So the idea that the capacity may not be there or the structures may not be in place to detect is one argument, which may be convincing, but the responsibility is still that of councils to perform that function. It's expected that they would have the oversight function and they would perform that.
It's the first time it's the first time I've ever somebody has ever brought this up. But like I said, the council entrusts these committees
Yes.
to exercise oversight on the administration. But council has never exercised oversight on a committee. A councillor can detect an anomaly, or a staff or a director or even a member of the general public, and report it to the council, but it's not a function and it's not in law. I don't think anybody ever thought of it as far as Gambia is concerned, but it's something to look at. And I think maybe that's one of the things should be looked at.
All right. Thank you very much. Now we go to issues of employment.
Yes.
The staff of council, how are they employed? When you came in 2018, what did you find on the ground in relation to who has the power to employ staff of council? I mean, the CEO down.
So when we came, there was a lot of movements made by the interim body. I think they were acting more of an executive than a council. Now, the first thing we were struggling with is no scheme of service. The HR office was not well equipped. So it was how to get started. So we constituted the committee to sort of guide us. And the HR expert suggested we do a HR audit to understand what is in the staff, the square pegs in round holes, etc. Now, at the initial time when I came, the CEO was doing all hiring as far as, I think, daily pays are concerned. This is irregular workers. And the establishment was doing absolutely all hiring, top to bottom. There was no limit. Then at some point, they started coming to the council for approval. And then after the local government service committee, the local government, service committee was instituted in 2019. And they wrote to all councils that hiring should cease. I remember that, I think. And then they made a tour to all the councils to do a familiarization tour. And then right after, they wrote another letter that CEOs may hire up to grade 5.
Yes.
And then subsequently in 2023, I think they reduced the CEO's limit from 5 to 3.
3, yes.
If I remember.
Yes. Now, in 2019 is when we have the Local Government Service Commission being established proper, correct?
Somewhere around there.
Okay. Now, so from that moment on, they would be dealing with all employment of council, correct?
Yes, the establishment would do the work and then they should recommend to the service commission.
Now, we see there were periods beyond 2019 that contracts were given to various individuals. Yes. For instance, we have Kan Mustafa Kanye.
Yes.
We have Adama Jammeh. Yes. We have Sehu M. Sabali, and a lot others. Now, I have the contract dated the 1st of October 2022 for Kan Mustafa Kanye. We have 10th February 2022, appointment on a contract for Kan Mustafa Kanye. We have 14th of January 2021, appointment on a contract for Kan Mustafa Kanye. We have Adama Jammeh, 1st of February 2021, 10th of February 2022, 30th of September 2022, 30th of September 2023. We have contract renewals for COM Sabali, 10th of February 2022, 30th of September 2022, February 6, 2019. I will want you to take a look at this.
Yes, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Now, this would happen beyond 2019 when we have the commission, the Local Government Service Commission, to deal with employment matters. Now, what was the process followed in the either extension on contracts or the appointment of employees on contract basis for this period?
Yeah. So these characters, the issue frequently came to the council floor for debate. On the issue of Khan Mustafa Kani, I think I already said how he came to the council. When his initial contract expired, I believe the debate came to the council because everybody found him effective on the ground. He was very good with dealing with the locals in terms of the communities in the markets, dump site, etc. So I think when the councillors realized that, okay, they cannot, the establishment committee recommended that instead of he being hired as a staff, let the CEO offer him a consultancy as opposed to being hired as a staff, because I think he was worried about the same compliance issues you are raising. So as you can see in the various contracts from the initial one, he was employed as a consultant through the office of the CEO. On the issue of Sehu M. Sabali and Adama Jamme, these were mostly from the Directorate of Finance. Our opinion, I remember, as policymakers, no staff should be indispensable, and we must focus on sustainability.
Yes.
But the same request would come year in, year out from the finance director that one, Adama Jammeh had institutional memory from the 80s, which is not something that we were I'm even proud to say, because the metric system and the database should be the memory. But he always spoke about the transfer of properties and not enough paper trail, lost records, and she had that memory. So it was a debate every general council. For Sabali, again, he would raise the same issues. So most of those recommendations were coming from the Department of Finance. Now, to your answer directly, they were bringing it to the general council as a contract extension, because I believe, according to them, it did not need the Local Government Service Commission, because these were staff of council already. And according to them, if I remember, they are entitled to 2 years contract extension up to 3 times. I remember that was the debate that was brought there. They said they are entitled to 2 years contract extensions up to 3 times, which is 6 years.
Yes, but the question is, who has the authority to award either contract extensions or award contract employment on contracts during this period?
Yeah, the authority for employment
Yes.
and staff matters above a certain grade is the Local Government Service Commission.